You know, you've been around this place a fair while. 2019, Labor copped it at the election. They're spooked when it comes to housing concessions, aren't they?
I'm not so sure in that 2019 whether that negative gearing was the
Was the issue?
was the issue when it come to bill. And I say that politely. I really don't. And we're now 5 years on. We've been through COVID. We have some real issues out there. We see more people homeless. We see people who cannot afford their mortgages. And what do we do about housing supply in this country? David and I have looked at the softest option out of the five of them, which will basically gain will be the less amount of money, which will be about 16 or 17 billion by 2034, 35. Okay, so what we're doing is making sure that those already in the game are protected. We don't want to change the contract that they've already had with the government over the years. We don't want to do that, but what we want to do is say we want to restrict it to one house, one investment property plus the one you live in. So basically you've got the two anyway, but we've got to start moving here, because just throwing all that money out there, or $500 million a year to build houses, we are never going to catch up with supply. That's the first thing. So if the PM thinks he was going to go to bed now and just say this is dealt with, this is not dealt with by a long shot. We have a housing shortage and will continue to get worse. We've got to put other things in the mix.
So this is also, this research that you've released today also shows that it will boost supply because you get less investors and actual rental properties being sold off as well. So the PBO suggests supply would increase.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that's a good thing. But like I said, we need to do more. Of course, my own thought is I like the New Zealand model where foreign investment is no longer welcome. And I think throwing things like that in the mix as well. But we need 4 or 5 moves here, because just saying, here you go, I fixed the housing crisis that we've got for you low-income earners. Here's $500 million that we're going to spend on housing when we haven't even seen that first bit of soil turned over yet.
But are you worried, just on that original point, are you worried that the government is still spooked by some of the housing policies they took to that election?
I don't care whether they're spooked or not, actually.
They've got to
go up, put their big boy pants on, and let's make some moves here. I want to see it done. We want to see this done, and we don't want to wait another year or another 2 where we're screaming for more housing out there for people. They need to be moving on this now, mate.
We saw research out of Victoria today as well that shows you don't have to be unemployed to be homeless right now, that people are, as Jacqui pointed out, struggling to pay their rent and keep a roof over their heads. Jacqui touched on one thing when it comes to the negative gearing change. Are you also suggesting the capital gains tax should be kept to those buying new properties? Is that your argument?
The preferred option in my mind, and talking to experts, is that you scale back the capital gains tax discount to 25%, but that's for new builds. So you're
only
incentivising investment in supply. A report out today showing that housing affordability is at its worst on record. If you are on youth allowance, there's not a single rental in Australia that you can afford. What kind of Australia do we want? Do we want to give $20 billion of tax concessions to 15% of Australians that have investment properties? Or do we want to say, well, actually, okay, this show is coming to an end and we're going to start to turn this around in a fair and really orderly way?
Before you go, I do want to ask you about one of your fellow senators posting that video out of Wakely, the alleged attack, and Elon Musk really showing contempt for the government and its approach on this issue. What's your take on the tech billionaire?
So when it comes to the tech billionaire, like I've already said, I think he's a social media knob with no social conscience. He has absolutely no social conscience. Someone like that should be in jail and the key be thrown away. That bloke should not have a right to be out there on his own ideology platform and creating hatred, showing all this stuff out there to our kids and doing all the rest. I'm very interested to watch what the US is going to do with TikTok and how far that they can do with trying to get rid of that platform as well. So I think we're all watching on the United States at the moment to see what they're doing. But seriously, if we can move, and if that means in the next sitting that we can shut him down from doing this, because this is
happy to kick them out?
Disgraceful.
You kick the platform out?
I don't give a stuff about the platform. I'm happy to go off the platform today, to be honest with you. I already have a list of all you journalists I don't even know why we're on the platform. But I say this to everybody else. I'll be switching off X today. I'll be doing that before I get to the airport this afternoon. And I suggest that the other 226, there's 227 members of parliament do the same thing and show them that you mean business. Because when you want to lead by example, it has to happen from here. It has to happen from here. So start switching off X. Start throwing it back at him. But we've got to start from here.
Jacqui Lambie, David Pocock, great to see you both, and happy birthday, David.
Oh, cheers. Thanks.
Many happy returns. A busy day on your birthday.